What's going on, y'all? That's Pito back with another book review. Today we doing my guy, my person that I watched growing up that really had me representing Philly when I was in West Virginia. One of the most polarizing NBA players of all time. The guy that shook Cross Jordan, created his own crossover. And we're going to talk about that too, how he created that crossover. We're going to talk about a lot of different things in this book, Allen Iverson, Misunderstood. This was a good read. If you have read it, let me know what y'all think. This your boy Pito back with another book review. Let's get it. And the Allen Iverson book, Misunderstood. I bought that jersey for this video. It's too small. Can't fit me. So I'm thinking about giving it away. If we get to a certain number of likes or comments, I think I'm going to give it to somebody. It is a 1XL. Whoever wears that size is a Georgetown jersey. It says Hoy on the front. Allen Iverson jersey. If we get to 1,000 likes, I'm gonna give it away. I haven't. Matter of fact, if I get to 500 likes, I'm gonna give it away. I haven't even reached that level of likes. 1,000 is wild. I guess I'm shooting for the stars. But if I get that many likes in this video, I'm gonna ship it off to somebody. Just comment in the bottom, let me know. But so in the Allen Iverson book, Misunderstood, what if I told y'all he never even wanted to play basketball at all? He wanted to play football. Allen wanted to go to Notre Dame. He ain't had nothing to do with basketball at all. His mom actually forced him to go play. And that's one thing that I thought was wild, because he's like, he didn't even want to be there. He didn't even want to do it at all. He was like, man, I'm going to play football. Fuck this basketball shit. But it ended up being one of the biggest blessings of his life, because like, he didn't want to do it at all. He didn't even want to be there, but his mom made him go, and it turned out to be a obvious blessing. But he did say once he first touched that court, he knew immediately that basketball was for him. Once he got on there and his competitive nature kicked in, and he realized like, oh yeah. So that's one thing that he did talk about in his book, and how he bigged up his mom and thanked his mom for even putting him in basketball, because he did not want to do it at all. He wanted to go play football at Notre Dame. So another thing that Allen Iverson talked about in his book was how he was out there hustling and how he got robbed, and he felt the steel at the back of his neck, and they, took everything he had, and he just kind of was like, this is it. Like, this is the moment. Like, this is where I'm done. Like, I played my card and it didn't work out the way I thought it would. And in that moment, after he got out of the situation, he was thinking like, damn, how many Allen Iversons didn't make it out? How many Allen Iversons died in that moment? How many Allen Iversons went for revenge in that moment and ended up getting stuck and not making it out of their situation? So that was like a reality that he had to face, and he really understood and recognized like, okay, I can't keep playing these games out here, because I almost lost my life, dealing with this nonsense. And that's when a part of the reasons why he kind of turned his life around and really started focusing on playing ball and getting out the situation that he was in for him and his family. Did you know that Allen Iverson got 15 years? He was sentenced to 15 years for the bowling alley incident. Like, that's insane. I did not know that. Like, Allen Iverson, the basketball player, was sentenced to 15 years when he was a kid. And the crazy part about it was he got charged and convicted on the maiming by mob law, I believe that's what they called it. And it was a law to prevent black people from getting lynched and hung by the KKK and stuff like that. And they actually convicted him on that law, ironically, which was crazy. And when he got convicted, the judge sent him to 15 years. And part of the reason, from my understanding of this book, why he don't wear suits is because he wore a suit to the day where he was about to get, see if he was guilty or not. And they made him wear it. He didn't want to wear it. So when he won, he got convicted, and they locked him up, and he had to sit in the cell in that hot ass suit. I think he said for a couple of days, man, he was sitting there burning up to where he eventually just started stripping out of the suit. So that's one of the reasons why Iverson don't like wearing suits, which I kind of understand, and I get it. And he talked about how like he didn't even fight nobody like at the place, and how many people was like saying that he did X, Y, and Z that he really didn't do. And it was crazy, man, how like he eventually ended up getting pardoned by the governor of Virginia at the time, which I believe was the first black governor and the last black governor. And it was like he was on his way out of office in general. And he was like, well, look, let me see what I can do. His mom went to him, and I believe what's the coach name in Georgetown? John Thompson. John Thompson went to him and was trying to go to bat for him to get him out. And the governor pardoned him. And everybody was pissed in Virginia. Like, what the hell would you pardon this guy for? Like, why would you do some shit like that? And it was the first black and the last black governor of Virginia in U.S. history. And it was crazy, man, because, like, they really wanted him hung. They not literally, well, kind of, yeah, for real, 15 years. That's like damn near not half of a life sentence, but somewhat of a life sentence. And it's crazy, man, like how they was fighting for him. His mom was fighting for him, and John Thompson was fighting for him to get out, even though all the media backlash was crazy and how everybody was kind of against him, especially in that town. But that pardon really saved that man's life. And it's crazy, man, because if you that governor in that particular time, you just doing this for a young man. You don't necessarily know who this young man is or who this young man is going to be. But he pardoned that man, and look what AI turned into. It's just crazy, man. Whether you like him or dislike him, whether you feel about him or not, Iverson definitely had an impact on a lot of people's lives, a lot of people's careers. He definitely made an impact with his second chance. That's one thing you cannot say. But yeah, I just thought that was a crazy story, man. They gave that man 15 years and he was pardoned by, the governor was Douglas Wilder. That was the governor that pardoned Allen Iverson, just so y'all know. So in Allen Iverson's book, Misunderstood, he talked about how his mom was fighting so hard for him to get another chance from all the schools, because once the whole incident happened at the bowling alley, everybody was kind of like writing him off. And one person that still took a chance when he was John Thompson for Georgetown, and she was begging and pleading for John Thompson to give him a chance, and he did. And he literally was hesitant to even go there because everybody knew it was a big school, a big man school. Like Patrick Ewing went there, Dikembe Mutombo went there, so it was kind of like famous for centers. And AI was like, man, I don't know, because I don't know if he'll be able to coach me the way I need to be coached, because he used to big men. And that was like one of the things that he kind of really grew to have a great relationship with John Thompson, because John Thompson always kept it real with him, always was honest with him. Even one time Iverson went to him like, yo, I want to play football. I really want to go out there and play football. And John Thompson was like, you don't ever bring no dumb shit like that to me again. And that was kind of their relationship. Like John Thompson always kept it real with him, always kept it G with him, and didn't lie, didn't sugarcoat. But he also protected Iverson a lot with a lot of press conferences. He wouldn't let Iverson have press conferences. He wouldn't let him talk to the media. He would do all the talking for him. So Iver couldn't mess up. He couldn't be put in a position, ask crazy questions. He didn't have to relive the situations over and over and over again. And later on in his life, when he brought up the practice conversation, press conference, he wished John Thompson was there to protect him, because that would not have happened. And he also went into that in detail, and we're about to talk about that right now, the details he went into about that conversation about practice. So that infamous moment about practice, he started off the book talking about that, and it was a crazy way to introduce the book, because he talked about how his friend had died. He was dealing with so much that was going on, and he was giving so much to the basketball court when he did play. And they asked him, like, why was he missing practice? And he wasn't saying, like, practice ain't shit. He was just saying, like, yo, I got so much going on in my life right now. Y'all asking me about practice. Like, something that's not that important in my life right now, because I'm struggling with the death of my friend, the struggles, the mental issues, everything I'm doing. And I'm still giving 100% when I do play. Like, I can't believe that this is the conversation we having is about practice. So when you hear it from that perspective, you really understand and really get a different glimpse into what people be dealing with outside of the limelight, outside of the money, outside of all these things. It's like one of his closest friends that he had his entire life ended up getting killed. And how he get killed, all the details and all that stuff come out. And it's just crazy, because in that moment, it's like, yo, I'm not worried about no practice. I'm not worried about none of this. I'm really just trying to grieve and really deal with everything that's going on with the death of my friend. So that was another crazy part in this book that you just don't be knowing, or I didn't know, at least. Maybe some of y'all did. If you did know, let me know in the comment section. But it's just crazy, man. You just never know what people really be dealing with in their life. So in Allen Iverson's book, Misunderstood, he talked about once he did start playing, and how one of the first places he went to was Villanova, and how Villanova was trolling him. And how Villanova, ironically, he ended up playing in Philly, but how Villanova, all the students wore prison jumpsuits to kind of intimidate him or try to get to him. And one story, and even had a student had a sign that said, not the next MJ, but the next OJ. And I thought that was hilarious, to be honest. Like, when he told me that, I'm like, people would really be doing too much sometimes, man. But he was saying, like, that really kind kind of like was annoying, but John Thompson ended up shutting that down and getting him out of there. And it's like, it just show you how much of a protector John Thompson was for him. And we need more men, more people with these impactful roles that be in our lives, especially dealing with hard times, and how John Thompson was always there for him. But that's crazy. They showed it with not the next MJ, but the next OJ referencing, OJ Simpson, that whole story, but which I thought was hilarious. But despite all of that he was going through with the trial, with John Thompson was getting on, the people heckling him, he ended up winning Big East Rookie of the Year and Defensive Player of the Year, and setting the conference records with 3 steals per game. So he was balling when he went to Georgetown. Like, he really was doing his thing. And it just shows you like how much he was persevering and how much he was trying to take advantage of this opportunity that he got, a second chance that he got, and he really was out there doing his thing. All right, so in Allen Iverson book, The Crossover, he talked about coming up with the name The Answer. And he was trying to figure out nicknames because, you had Dr. J, you had Magic, you had all these people with these names, even with Shaq, with Diesel and stuff like that. But he ain't had no name, so he was trying to figure out a name to give himself. And somebody gave him to him like, yo, there's so many questions surrounding the NBA. They need an answer. He saw that and was like, yeah, that's going to be my answer. I'm going to be the answer. And immediately he loved it. And when they got it tattooed on him, because he knew immediately that was going to be his answer. And that's one of the reasons why he got the tattoo, The Answer. There was so many questions around him going into the NBA. They were so uncertain. So that's why he gave himself the answer, because there was so many questions behind him and his career and how he would turn out. So that's why he chose The Answer, just so y'all know how he ended up getting that nickname. So in Allen Iverson's book, Misunderstood, what if I told you the origins of his crossover was from the 12th man on the bench at Georgetown? He said he learned his crossover from Dean Barry. I believe that's what he said, Dean Barry. He used to cook him in practice all the time with this crossover. But AI was so prideful and had so much ego, he didn't want to ask for help, but he could not stop this guy from crossing him over. So he finally went to him one day in practice, and the guy started teaching him and showing him how to do this crossover. And he was like, it was so effective, he took it with him to the league. And as you know, the history behind that and what eventually happened with that crossover, but he ended up taking that crossover to the league, and you know what happened with the crossover. We're gonna get into the details about that though. But it was a 12th man on the bench at Georgetown that was crossing AI up, giving him that work, and he wasn't even a starter. He was barely even getting in the game. But that just lets you know how much talent be out in this world, and you can always learn from somebody. I know so many people that be so arrogant and feel like just because they're in a better position than them, they can't learn from somebody. But you definitely always can learn from somebody in any of these situations, and he learned from the 12th man that was on the bench how to do his crossover, which is an amazing story. So one of the an Allen Iverson book, Misunderstood, one of the things that he talked about was one of the most iconic moments in his career, and that was crossing Jordan up. One of them anyway, he had so many. And he talked about the details of it and how he was just so amazed and so at all about seeing Jordan on the court, and he just loved him so much, and how the crowd was so hyped and anticipating this game so much. And I remember these days, but I really, really do. And how he was like, this was when I really got into Iverson. This when he caught my attention. And he was saying how he got the ball and they swung it to him, and him and I think Pimpin was guarding him at the time, or somebody was guarding him at the time, and they switched off, and he had MJ. And when he got MJ, he said the whole crowd was like, oh shit, like what's about to happen? So he said when he backed up because he wanted to get in the moment for this crossover. And he said when he did it the first time, he just was seeing if Jordan was going to bite. So then he hit him with it the second time, and he did bite. And Jordan up there, he said he pulled up so quick. All he was thinking like, please make the shot, because the crossover would have meant shit if he missed the shot. And he hit it. And it was like the crowd went crazy, like, oh shit. Like, so that was just such an amazing moment. And I know I'm excited because I definitely remember the moment. I definitely remember the time. I definitely remember the energy. It just was like one of the moments. It was like, okay, AI here to play, and you about to play amongst these big boys. And Philly, we needed that too. The Sixers definitely needed that. So that was an amazing moment as well. Oh, another thing that Allen Iverson talked about in his book, Misunderstood, he talked about the time that he spent with Biggie and how they really made a connection, and they would spend the time together, and how he kind of, when they was younger, they used to listen to Biggie all the time and really got into modes and really was riding out. He felt like Biggie was a soundtrack to his childhood. So when he got time to spend time with him, it was just such an iconic moment. And his his sneakers came out. And he was saying like Big and I was so excited about it and so excited about everything. And you can even see Biggie rocking his sneakers in the Hypnotized video when him and Puff was walking in the parking deck. I actually went and looked it up. I was like, damn, I didn't even notice Biggie was wearing no Iversons in that video. So, yep, so he damn sure was. If you go look at the Hypnotized video when Puff and Big is in the parking lot walking to the Benz that they were driving backwards in, you see he wearing the Iversons, which is crazy. But he was talking about how hurt he was when Big got killed. Like he was just around him. He just was spending time with him, man, and then he unfortunately passing, which is another crazy story, man, that unfortunately, like, as soon as he started spending time with somebody that he looked up to was taken from him. So that was another like crazy part of this book. Very entertaining though, but sad. So in the book, Allen Iverson book, Misunderstood, he talked about in the year 2000, they was about to trade him to Detroit, and him and I forgot the coach at the time, man, Brown, I forgot the coach name, remind me in the comment section, and how him and the coach is going at it so bad, and they got tired of fighting, so they was about to pick the coach over him, and they was about to trade him to Detroit. The trade went through, but there was one person that was in that trade, Matt Geiger, the center for Sixers. He refused to waive his trade kicker because of an injury he had. He did not want to be traded. He was like, nah, I got this in my contract. I'm injured. I'm not going to Detroit. And that's the reason why Iverson did not get traded to Detroit in the year 2000. But he was saying that he was so hurt and so salty that the Sixers was trying to trade him. He was like, no matter what, I'm going to get on board. I'm going to do what I'm supposed to do. I'm going to stop fighting so much. We're going to get this system rolling. We really going to get things in line. And 2001, they ended up having the best year they ever had. And it's just crazy though, man, how he really did not want to go to Detroit, and he really was begging Philly like, yo, don't trade me. And the owners at the time like, it's already done. But Matt Geiger saved Iverson from getting traded from Philly before that iconic 2001 run where they was murdering shit in the playoffs in the season. So yeah, that was another crazy part, that he almost got traded, but Matt Geiger stopped it. In the book, Allen Iverson's book, Misunderstood, he talked about that 2001 season and how the playoffs, how they had to beat Vince Carter, they had to beat Ray Allen. And he was saying how he battled Ray Allen all through college and everything. Ray Allen was always beating him in college, but he ended up beating Ray Allen in the playoffs this particular year. He had to borrow Vince Carter, Ray Allen, and I watched every single one of them series like faithfully, because I remember I was in West Virginia when this happened, and they started out the season 10-0. They would beat everybody. I'm like, yo, the Sixers was for real. Like, we really gonna have a great season. And I just remember it vividly. And then I remember like the Lakers was killing everybody. Lakers was sweeping them. And the Sixers was fighting for their life. Game 6, Game 7, like trying to win and trying to at least make it. And I remember them showing one video of this one particular game. Rick Fox and them was on a beach playing and having a good old time while the Sixers over here fighting for their life trying to make it to the finals. So everybody knew that they was going to lose to the Lakers. But the crazy part about it was Iverson was talking about battling Kobe and Shaq, and they was like Thanos at the time. And I just thought that was such an amazing reference, because wasn't nobody even touching the Lakers. Ain't nobody even get them a chance to beat the Lakers, especially I didn't at the time. And then that infamous Game 1 happened, and AI was cooking Kobe, Shaq, everybody on that team, giving them the work. And then the infamous Ty Lue moment happened when he stepped over him, and he was saying like he wasn't even worried about Ty Lue at that moment. He literally was worried about how much trash the Lakers bench was talking. And it was crazy, man, how the competition and the level of passion and energy was there. And I just miss that NBA. I don't know what's going on now. I don't know how to fix it. I don't know how to correct it. But that level of the NBA is like peak passion for me as a kid growing up. And I wish it kind of would get back to that. But they ended up beating the Lakers. They was the only team to beat the Lakers one game that whole playoff series. That's how dominant Kobe and Shaq was this one particular year with Phil Jackson. But yeah, that was just another amazing story that I love in this book. So yeah, man, this book was amazing, man. It really was entertaining. It really was something that I really enjoyed and I loved. And if you have read this book, let me know what y'all think in the comment section. Let me know what you thought. I love AI, man. More power to you, bro. I wish you the best in the rest of your life. But this book was amazing. It really took me down memory lane, and it really got going for me once he started talking about his NBA career and stuff like that. But this was an amazing book. If you have read it, it's Pito. Let me know in the comment section. If I get the 500 likes, you got to comment, you got to like, and you got to subscribe. I will send this jersey off once we get to 500 likes. It's your boy Pito. Let's get it.